Good evening to all the students. In this session, we are going to discuss the introductory concepts related to the data structure called trees. Right. Till now, we have seen the various data structures such as the stacks, queues, and linked lists. And similarly, arrays also we have done some programs. Right. We had seen some concepts. Those stacks, queues, and linked lists, they will come under the category of linear data structures. But from this topic onwards, that means from the trees, we are going to discuss the other category of data structure, which is nothing but the non-linear data structure. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by the non-linear data structure?
The elements are not in a sequential fashions.
Right.
Representation.
We should not define the nonlinear data structure like that. The data structures where the elements are inserted and deleted, right? The organization of data is not in the sequential fashion. We say such type of data structures as the nonlinear data structures. And the examples for the nonlinear data structures are trees and graphs. But in our syllabus, we are confined only to the trees concept. We have various trees, some advanced search trees are also there. Similarly, we have self-balanced search trees like red-black trees, split trees. Like that, we have various categories of trees which we will be discussing from this topic onwards. Right? So, in order to learn the concepts of the advanced trees or advanced search trees or self-balancing search trees, we should know the basics of the trees concept. Right? We should know what a parent is, what a child is, and similarly we should know what are the various traversals that we can perform on a tree data structure. Right. So all these things we should know, and that is the reason why we are going to discuss the basic introductory concepts to the trees in this class. So let us have let us discuss this the definition of the trees in a later class, but before entering into the concept of trees, let me ask you one question. What is the use of ordered array? So what benefits we will get from the ordered arrays? First of all, tell me what are ordered arrays?
Arrays which are sorted, sir, in either ascending order or descending order.
Right, the elements are in the sorted order, either in the ascending order or descending order. Right. So what benefit we get from these ordered arrays? We have seen it while we are discussing the categories of data structures.
It reduces time complexity.
It reduces time complexity of which operation?
When we want to search, sir.
Super, right. So when we make use of the search operation, or when you make use of the ordered arrays, the search operation complexity will not go beyond this big of n. Right. Similarly, the second question which I want to ask is, can anybody tell me what are the advantages of linked lists?
We have large data, sir.
Okay, I want the advantage with respect to the operations. Some girl is telling about the operations. So what benefit we get from the linked list?
Push and pop operations.
No pop operation in the
Not like that,
context
sir.
of linked list.
మనం ఏమన్నా వాల్యూస్ యాడ్ చేయాలనుకున్నప్పుడు నోట్స్ అవి మనం బిగినింగ్ లో అయినా ఎండింగ్ లో అయినా సెంటర్ లో అయినా ఎక్కడైనా మనం చాలా ఈజీగా యాడ్ చేస్తారు అరేస్ లో.
Okay, that is the correct answer, but I want the answer as you said that by making use of the ordered arrays, we have the search operation we have the best performance in the search operation. In similar lines, I want the advantage of the linked list. So what operations are being optimized by using the linked list? First of all, list out what are the operations we are going to concentrate most of the times.
Traversing, sir. Traversing.
Okay, traversing is one operation. What are the other operations we will be concentrating on while discussing various data structures? What is that?
Inserting a node, deleting a node, inserting a node, deleting a node, updating a
Super.
node.
Insertion, deletion, traversion. Similarly, we have this search. So basically, when we discuss any data structure, we will be discussing in terms of these operations, right? And above all these operations, this insertion, deletion, and search operation have most significance, right? So when coming to the concept of ordered arrays, I say that the search operation for these ordered arrays will be efficient. Similarly, when we discuss about this linked list, we can say that the insertion and deletion operations are performed efficiently. Right. So the insertion and deletion operations are done efficiently. Right. So the trees data structure, though it is a non-linear data structure, we can say that the trees are combining the benefits of the ordered arrays as well as the linked lists. Right. So the benefit we get from the ordered arrays is search operation is efficient, and the benefit we have with this linked list is the insertion and deletion operations are efficient. So when we come across the concept of these trees, we can combine the benefits of this ordered arrays along with this linked list. That means we can have efficient search operation, and similarly we can have efficient insertion and deletion operations in the concept of trees, right? So this is the reason why the trees plays very vital role in many of the operations, right? So we can see that the trees can be used. I will discuss what are the benefits or what are the application areas where we can use these trees. But before that, remember that trees is a very, very important data structure which can be used to implement any other data structure. Not any other, but some complex data structures which we will be using in different concepts. Like for example, if you take the concept of B trees and B plus trees, you might have gone through the DBMS concepts, right? Are you done with the DBMS concepts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, okay. Right. So in that database management system, we will also implement these three data structures. We have the concepts called the B trees and the B plus trees, which is used for the indexing purpose. Similarly, if you want to represent any hierarchical data, remember that what is the relationship between the nodes in the trees? Can anybody tell me what is the relationship between the elements inside a stack, queue, or array? What relation is there? What relation is there between the element?
Consecutive memory blocks, sir.
Super, right. We say that they have a linear relation. Right. There is no other name for it. We say that the elements have a linear relation. But coming to these trees, since these represent the non-linear data structures, we can say that the elements in the tree represent the hierarchical relationship. What do you mean by hierarchical relationship?
Parents, childs, like that.
Right.
Branches.
We can say that it is a level by level. Right. Hierarchical is nothing but level by level. So one set of elements will be in one level and another set of elements will be in the next level. Similarly, we have another set of elements in the third level. Like that, we have some different levels. So whenever you want to represent the data in the form of multiple levels, then that is nothing but we are going to represent it using the hierarchical method, right? So for that purpose, where you want to represent the elements with a parent-child relationship or a level by level relationship or a hierarchical relationship, then you have to remember the concept of trees. So that is where we make use of these trees, right? So I didn't go through the definition of the trees, but I explained what for these trees are used, right? So the main purpose of these trees is it comes under the nonlinear data structure. That is the first point you have to remember regarding these trees. And the purpose of this trees is it combines the benefits of the ordered arrays and the linked list, where we have the search, insertion and deletion operations optimized, right? So, and one more thing I have discussed is where we are going to use these trees. We are going to use these trees to develop or to represent the complex data structures like B trees, B plus trees, AVL trees. Like that we have so many kinds of trees, and every tree will have its own application area. And in general, if somebody asks you what for we make use of trees, for what type of data we make use of these trees, you can blindly say that trees are used to represent the elements which are having the hierarchical relation. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So coming to our discussion of the trees, this is how a natural view of a tree is. That means we have the root at the bottom and the leaves and branches are in towards the upward direction, right? But the computer scientists, they view the tree in a different manner. That means they will simply tilt the tree, and this is how the computer scientists view a tree, right? The root will be occupying the first level, and later we have different levels where we have branches and nodes. So the leaves will be at the last part here, right? Here you can observe that these are the leaves. So here they are, the leaves represent the last level, right? Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right, coming to the introduction concepts related to trees, I said that the tree data structure can be used to represent many complex data structure, right? So that is what the author is saying, that it is the fundamental data storage structures used in the programming. And similarly, it combines the advantages of the ordered array and the linked list. So the advantage of ordered array is nothing but it is going to make, or it is going to optimize the search operation, whereas the linked list advantage is we have the optimized insertion and deletion operations. So by this we can say that in trees the search, insertion and deletion operations are the efficient operations, right? So this is what I have told, right? Searching as fast as in the ordered array, and insertion and deletion as fast as in the linked list, right? So coming to the next one, this is how we define a tree. This is how we define a tree, right? So it is a simple definition. This is not the exact definition of a tree, right? But you can say that a tree is nothing but a finite non-empty set of elements, right? What is a tree? A tree is nothing but a finite, that means the number of elements that are present inside the tree will be countable in nature. They are finite in nature, right? And the set which consists of the elements should be non-empty. This is one point you have to remember regarding these trees, and this is the second point you have to remember regarding these trees. In simple terms, a tree is nothing but a collection of elements, right? But in this particular context of trees, we call these elements with a special name called as node, similar to that of the linked list, right? So if somebody asks you what is a tree, you can simply say that a tree is a collection of nodes. But if you want to elaborate the definition, a tree is a collection of nodes which is non-empty set and which is finite in nature. And other than this, we have to add one more thing, that is the set of nodes For example, assume that I want to represent a tree like this. I write like this: T is equal to, since I have to represent it with a set of elements or set of nodes, let the nodes be given the names as 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Right. So how many nodes are there for my tree? You have to just count the number of elements inside this set. Since I have 5 elements in this set, the number of nodes present inside the tree are 5. Right. And are they finite in nature?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
They
sir.
are finite in nature. And similarly, it should also satisfy that this set, this is called as a node set. We can call it as a node set or set of nodes. Whatever is convenient for you, you can follow it. Right. So the tree is nothing but a collection of nodes. We call it as a node set, and the nodes, the number of nodes that are inside this node set should be finite in nature, and they should be non-empty. So other than this, there is another important point you should remember, that out of all these nodes that are present inside the node set, I designate one particular node as a special node, and the name of that special node I call it as the root node. This is very important. Right. Please remember that a tree is nothing but a collection of nodes. Okay, and it is the nodes should be infinite in nature. Super. And the node set should not be should be non-empty. Okay. And the final point you should write about the trees is, out of all the nodes that are available in the node set, you should designate one particular element as a special node, which is called as the root node. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, for example, this is, I tell you that this is an example of tree. So in order to identify whether this is a tree or not, you have to just represent it with a data set. Right. For example, I represent it with a T. So what are the elements we have? See here, let us this is the tree diagram we have, and these are called as nodes. Right. We can represent the nodes either as a circular diagram or as a rectangular, rounded rectangle. Right. So the corners are rounded. So in general, we have a common practice that we represent the nodes with a circular form, right? But here it is not possible to represent it in the circular form. Just we can make use of the rectangular, rounded rectangle also, not an issue, right? So whatever we are representing in this rounded rectangle, we call them as nodes, right? So can anybody tell me how many nodes are there?
11, sir.
11.
sir.
Are they finite in nature?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And similarly, the node set is non-empty. Is it right or not?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So, and I can represent this node set of this tree as, I have to write these names, right? Every node is having a name. So I can write it as computers, comma, sales, comma, manufacturing, comma, R&D, comma, US. Like that you will write all the 11 names in this node set. Right. But other than this, I told that when you define a tree, you should designate one particular node as a special node, and we call it as the root node. Right. So what is the root node here? The root node is nothing but the node which is present at the top level. Right, this is one
Computer
level,
art.
and this is another level, this is another level, and this is another level. So the node which is present at the top level, we call it as the root node. So for this example, the root node is the computers. Right. Let us, right. And one more thing you should remember about these trees is, we have a set of nodes, and this set of nodes are having which relation?
Hierarchical relationships.
Right, hierarchical. Super. And we can also say that these nodes have parent-child relation. Anything is okay for it. they are having the hierarchical relation, or they are having the level by level relation, anything we can say, and they are having the parent child relation, right? Maximum we will be using the terminology like hierarchical and parent child. And remember that each and every node is connected with other node with a line. This is the line, right? We call these lines as edges. We call these lines as edges, right? So a tree is nothing but a collection of nodes which are finite in nature and non-empty, and we designate one node as a special node which is called as a root node. And if you want to extend the definition, you can also say that the nodes are linked with each other with the help of edges, right? We can also represent the edge set also, but it is not our concept of discussion, right? Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So it is an abstract model of the hierarchical structure, and whenever you want to represent the hierarchical structure, you can just go for the concept of trees. Similarly, we discussed that it consists of nodes with a parent-child relation. So the relationship between each one node and the other node can be the parent-child relation, right? So we come across different terminologies. In the next slide, we are going to discuss the terminology related to the trees, where we will come across the real life relationships, right? You can have the node can have a grandparent, the node can have a parent, the node can have a child, grandchild, ancestors, siblings, all these things, whatever relations we maintain in the human life, those relations are given to the relationship between these trees also, right? So it is a very simple concept to know the terminology also, right? So coming across the concept of application of trees, as I told that we can use the trees whenever you want to represent the hierarchical relation. So if you want to represent the organization charts, right, any organization, they will maintain the organization in a hierarchical level. For example, if we take our college, so who is the main custodian for the college? He is the principal, right? So below the principal we have the vice principal who is taking care of all the academic activities, and below this vice principal we have different HODs, HOD of mechanical engineering, HOD of EEE, HOD of CSC, ECE, like that we have 7 different branches or courses, right? So under each and every, for example, let us take CSC department. Under each and every HOD we have 2 categories. Let us take here. So we have the teaching staff and we have the non-teaching staff. Similarly, under teaching staff we have different categories also again, right? So we have professors, we have associate professors, and similarly we have assistant professors. And coming to the non-teaching staff, we have the storekeeper, we have the attender, we have the scavenger, like this. So if you observe this particular structure, so the principal will be in the top level, and below that principal we have different levels. So vice principal will be in the next level, and all the head of the departments, they come under the 3rd level. The staff, the teaching and non-teaching staff, they come with the 4th, and the remaining people will come under the last level, right? So this is how the any organization. I just have given you the example of our college administration or our college chart, right? But this is how the any organization maintains its different designations, right? Is it clear up to this example?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And similarly, file systems are the files you store inside your hard disk drive. They also maintain the hierarchical relation, right? For example, let us have a disk called D drive. So in the D drive, let us divide it into studies and entertainment. In the studies, I can put folders like for 6 different subjects I put 6 different folders, and in the entertainment I divide it as audio and video, and again in the audio I have different audio files, and in the video I have different categories like English movies, Telugu movies and Hindi movies. Like that, this particular file system that the computer or the operating system is going to maintain also is represented with the tree structure, right? Why? Because the files in the file system are maintained in a hierarchical manner. So anywhere when you come across the concept of hierarchical relation, you just go through the concept of trees. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So coming to the tree characteristics, we have discussed the things. It consists of nodes, and one node is connected to the other node by making use of a term called as edge. So if somebody asks you, for example, I have a tree like this. So how many nodes are there?
4.
4, sir.
Nodes is equal to 4. How many edges are there?
3 edges.
3, sir.
Edges is equal to 3. So I know how to represent a node. Why? Because the nodes are having some names. So I can call this node with the name. But the edges, either you can give the names for the edges also, like this is E1, this is E2 and this is E3, right? But instead of representing the edges with the names like E1, E2 and E3, what people will do is, if I want to represent this edge, right, again I should write it as, you can observe that it is going to, the edge E1 is going to link two nodes A and B, right? So I represent this E1 with two nodes, that is AB. Similarly, if I want to represent E2, how can I represent? E2 is equal to, you should write the names of the nodes to which the link is provided. That means this E2 is linking this A and C, therefore E2 can be given as AC. And similarly this is E3, so E3 is represented as CD, right? So this is how we denote the edges in the trees, right? But most of the times we never go with the concepts of edges. We always bother about the nodes only, right? Sometimes we deal some problems with the edges, but don't worry. This is how we are going to represent an edge, right? An edge is nothing but a collection of two nodes. So it is represented with the names of the nodes to which it is linked, right? Similarly, the second point is nodes often represent entities, right? So in the previous example like this, this one, right? So the nodes names represents some, they are giving some idea to the programmer, right? They are giving some idea to the user, right? This particular node is representing the sales department. Similarly, this particular node is representing the manufacturing department, and this node is representing the R&D department. Like that, the sales means under the sales we have the branch in the US, and similarly we have different branches in the international, such as Europe, Asia and Canada, like that. So any node can be given by making use of a name, right? So they are used to represent the complex objects such as people, car, parts, anything you can represent, right? The designation that you give to a particular person in the organization, all these things can be represented using nodes. And what does the edges represent means? The edges between the nodes represent the where the nodes are related, right? So can I say that A and B is related?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Why? Because we have an edge from A to B, so we say that A and B are related. Can I say that A and D are related?
Directly they are not, no, sir.
Tell me whether they are related or not. Say yes or no, true or false.
Related, sir. Yes, sir.
They are related, even though there is no direct edge from A to D, but they have a path from A to C, and then we have C to D, right? So this is called as path. Path is nothing but a sequence of edges. We will come across these terms in the next slide. So a path is nothing but we have a path from A to D. So we can say that A and D are also related, right? Similarly, are B and C related? No, right?
Yeah.
But in trees they are related. Why? Because B and C are having a common parent. Am I right or not? Who is the parent? Who parent means the one who is one node which is
Root
above
node,
the
sir.
node, right? What is that one?
Root nodes.
Right. So B and C are having the common node, or the we call it as common parent, right? So this B and C are called as siblings. This B and C are called as siblings, right? Like that we can have different relations also. So any relation can be represented by means of these edges, right? And the next point is, it's easy for a programmer to get from one node to another if there is a line connecting them, right? So similar to that of linked list, where each and every processing that you perform on the linked list, you always start with the starting node, right? You always start it with the first node. In the similar manner, when you want to process the tree, when you want to perform any operation on the tree, it is mandatory that you should start the processing with the root node only. So that is the purpose of the root node, that is the purpose of the special node which we have designated, right? So any operation you start on the trees, it should be from the root node only. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
So is there a way to move from one node to another node? Yes, you can move from one node to another node by following a path, right? But remember that, can we go from B to C means you cannot go. They have the relationship, B and C are the siblings. Why? Because they have been derived from the same parent. But you cannot move in this direction and then you can move in this direction, right? Of course, there are some problems where you can move like this also, but most of the times, as I told, that you please remember that any operation that you want to perform, you should start with the root node only. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
So we will discuss some of the tree terminologies, which is very basic thing, and it's a very easy concept that we can understand, right? So let us draw one diagram, an example here. So this is an example tree I have drawn. Now coming to the first terminology we have is a path. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by a path? Is there a, let me ask the question like this. Is there a path from 10 to 90?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. So the path is nothing but a collection of edges. I can say it as a collection of edges. Right. So if somebody asks you what is the path from 10 to 90, I should take this edge, that is 10 30 I should take, and 30 80 I should take, and then 80 90. Right. So it is nothing but collection of edges, or else you can also define this path as traversal from node to node along the edges, which results in a sequence called path, right? So the path from 10 to 90 is the collection of edges 10 30 30 80 and 80 90, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the root node, very simple concept. The node which is present at the top level of the tree is called as the root node, right? So you can otherwise define the root node as something like this, right? So the root node is the node which does not have the parent, right? So what is the root node in this example?
10, sir.
10, sir.
Right. So does it have any parent?
No, sir.
No, right? You can define in the other way, like a node which does not have a parent node can be treated as the root node. But if you want to give the exact meaning or exact definition of the root node, you can say that a node at the top of the tree, or which is present at the top level of the tree, we call it as the root node. And coming to the parent, can anybody tell me what do you mean by a parent? So what is the parent of 40?
20.
20, sir.
20, right? So if you want to find a parent of any node, you just go one level above the node, and that particular node represents the parent, right? So the node which is present one level above or upward in the upward direction is treated to be the parent, right? So any node except root, as I told that root node does not have a parent, right? Any node except root has exactly one edge. This is important, very very important concept, right? So there exists only one path from each and every node, right? If you observe the diagram of these trees, anywhere there exists exactly one edge that connects between two nodes. This is very important, right? That means that tree diagrams cannot be drawn like this, right? There exists an edge from 20 to 40. Let us assume that it is even, and if I draw another edge from 20 to 40 and I name it as E2, the entire structure is not considered as a tree. Then this particular concept, this particular diagram will go into the graphs concept, right? So remember that it is very important that there exists exactly one edge between the nodes, right? So this is one important concept you should know. Coming back to our parent definition, any node except root has exactly one edge running upward to another node, right? So if you take 20, we have only one node that is running in the upward direction, right? It is connected to another node in the upward direction with only one, right? So the node, this present node 10 is called as the parent. Like that you can define the parent. And what about the child? It is exactly the reverse order, right? What is the child of 20?
40 and 50, sir.
40 and 50, right? If you want to define it, we can say that any number of nodes that go in the downward direction. For example, if I want to find the child of 20, so from that node you go in the downward direction, and that to only one level you have to go, and the nodes that are present in the next level will be called as the child nodes for that particular node. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. And the last one, leaf node, very simple thing. A node that doesn't have any children is treated to be the leaf node. Now tell me, what are the leaf nodes here?
90.
No,
40, 50, 60, 70 and 90, sir.
90 is one of the leaf node, but you should check the entire tree and you should identify the nodes which does not have any children. So 40 does not have any children, therefore this is also leaf. 50, 60, 70 and 90. So these set of nodes 40, 50, 60, 70 and 90, these are called as leaf nodes. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So there exists a other name for these leaf nodes. We call these leaf nodes as external nodes. So don't get confused if somebody asks you what are the external nodes for a tree. So the external nodes are nothing but the leaf nodes. Is 80 a leaf or not? No, not right. Now tell me, what happens to the non-leaf nodes? What is the other name that we can give for the non-leaf nodes? What are non-leaf nodes?
Internal nodes.
What are non-leaf nodes? That means they have either
Which?
they have at least one child. They have at least one child. For example, if I take this 10, it is having two child nodes. If I take 20, two child nodes. 30, three child nodes. 80, only one child. So if any node is having at least one child, we call such type of nodes as non-leaf nodes, or else we can also call them as internal nodes. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next, coming to other terminology, that is subtree. A subtree is nothing but a subset of elements. So what is a tree? It is nothing but a set of nodes. So how do I represent this tree in this one? T is equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 and then 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90. So if you take some subset of elements from this set, then we can denote it as the subtree. Right. For example, I take 10, 20, 30, 40. So I can draw it like this. 10 is related to 20, 10 is related to 30 and then 20 is related to 40. So this can be treated as the subtree. Similarly, can anybody tell me what is the other subtree we have? Sorry. What is the subtree we have? I have given this
30,
example.
60, 80,
I have
70,
given
90.
this example. Right. Similarly, you can start from here 30, 60, 70, 80, 90. This is also one subtree. Similarly, I can take this particular branch 80, 90. This is also another subtree. Similarly, I can take only 30, 60, 70. This is also another subtree. Like that, you take any number of subnodes, any subset from the list of nodes, we can form a subtree. But remember that the subtrees should also satisfy the definition of the tree. Right. So what does a tree define? How do you define a tree? First point, it is a set of nodes. Second point, they should be finite in nature and they should be non-empty. And finally, very important point.
They should be related in hierarchical.
No. One particular node is designated as a special node, which is called as the root node. So all these properties should be satisfied by the subtree also. So it is a set of nodes, it is finite in nature and it should not be non-empty. And similarly, when we consider the subtree, that means subnode. For example, if you consider this subtree, this one node is designated as a root node. Am I right or not? So that
Yes,
is 10.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, this is a subtree. Right. For example, I take 60 and 70. Let us take it. It is satisfying this property. It is a set of nodes. Okay. It is finite in nature. Super. And it is non-empty set. Super. But is there any root node here?
No, sir.
So 60 and 70 are the siblings of 30. Therefore, they doesn't have any root node. Therefore, the last property is not satisfied. Therefore, 60, 70 cannot be a subtree. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we just go through other terminologies like tree terminology. So when we have another term called as traversing. So the traversing is almost similar to that of visiting a node. So you just visit a node to do some processing, right? That means in the similar to that of the linked list, you will be traversing the nodes of the linked list to do some processing. For example, you may print the information part of the node. So for example, you may use a counter and just increment when you just visit the node. Like that, for any type of processing, you have to visit the node. So visiting is nothing but it is done at each and every node in order to do some processing. Right? Don't stress about this particular terminology, but the previous terminology like what is that one, root, child, parent, all these things are important. You should know, that's it. We never make use of these particular things in the programming, or nowhere we will use. We'll just keep it in mind and just come to know what are the various terminologies we have with respect to the trees, right? As I said that we have another term called as traversing. Traversing means, listen, this is important. We have tree traversals, which is a very, very important concept and which is very easy also. So very important concept, tree traversals. That's the reason why you should know what traversing is. So a traversing is nothing but you are going to visit all the nodes in a specified order, right? So traversing is an operation where you will visit all the nodes in a specific order. We will tell you what the specific order is with respect to the trees when we come across that particular topic, right? So we have three different tree traversals, that is in order, pre-order and post-order. So how we are going to treat, how we are going to visit the nodes in the in order, how we are going to visit the nodes in the pre-order, post-order, all these things we will discuss, right? And levels, this is also one important concept you should know. As I told that when you want to represent the hierarchical data, you are going to represent it in the form of a levels. So what is the, you can give the numbering for the levels also, right? So where I should start giving the numbering to the levels means, as I told that, similar to that of linked list, as you start everything from the starting node, in the trees also you should start everything from the root node only. So the levels numbers should be started from the root node, right? We give the root node as level 0 and later so we give the root node as level 0 and the levels which follow from the root node will be incremented in a sequential fashion, right? So for example, I take this example like this. As I told that the root should always be given at level 0 and the next set of nodes which are directly related to this root node will fall under level 1 and this particular set of nodes 40, 50, 60, 70 they are treated as level 2. Like that you are going to define the various levels in the tree terminology. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right. Keys are, and another term keys. Keys are nothing but the information part which is going to be used for performing any search operation, right? Which is not that much important. So this is the applications of trees. Why we are going to use the trees, right? As I told that the first application is whenever you are going to store the hierarchical data like the folder structure, organization structure, XML or HTML data. When you find the term hierarchical representation, just remember that you are going to represent it with the trees. That's it, nothing more than that. Similarly, in the same unit we have, in the third unit we have a concept, one of the very important concept which is called as binary search tree. In the short form we call it as BST, right? So binary search tree is a special kind of search tree. The name itself is saying, right, it is going to improvise or it is going to optimize the search operation in the binary fashion. We will see all these things, right? So the binary search tree is a tree that allows fastest search, fastest insertion and fastest deletion on the stored data. Right. Similarly, we have another representation of the trees which we call it as the heap data structure. So heap is also a tree data structure which is implemented using arrays and is used to implement the priority queues. Have you ever heard of the concept priority queues? Any idea on priority queues?
Yes, sir.
Where you have learned this priority queues concept? Anybody please respond where you have seen this priority queue concept.
Applications of queues lo chusa.
Super, right. So in the applications of queues, one of the applications of queues is priority queues, where each and every element that you insert inside the queue will be having one number designated to it, which we call it as priority, and based upon the priority the insertion operations may vary, right. It is not mandatory that you should always insert the element in the priority queue at the end of the queue. Based upon the priority number the element is having, you are going to insert in the last or in the middle or in the front, anything is possible, right. But the deletion operation should always be performed from the first only. So it is, as I told in the earlier class itself also, I told that the priority queues are violating the definition of the queues. Why? Because according to the definition of the queues, the insertion should always be done at the rear part and the deletion should always be done at the front part, right. But the insertion point of view, from the insertion point of view, the priority queues are violating the definition of the queues. But though then also you can treat these priority queues as one of the queues itself, right. And how we are going to implement these priority queues means by making use of the heaps. Heap is nothing but again a tree data structure, right. So in order to represent the priority queues, we are making use of the trees concept, that's it. In order to make use of the binary search trees to perform the search, insert and deletion operations on the stored data in an efficient manner, we are going to use the trees. Any hierarchical data you want to represent, go for trees. And similarly the another type of trees we have is B trees and B plus trees. I told you in the first slide itself. So we have different kinds of trees like B trees and B plus trees, and these trees are used to implement the indexing concept in databases, right. So one of the core subject for CSE students is the DBMS, where you will come across in the last unit, I think you will come across the concept of indexing. So why do we use indexing? Anybody? General idea.
For identification, sir.
Not exactly. Can you please improvise it?
To access.
It's not for the random access, for quick access. Can I say it as quick access? Random access is also somewhat true only, but can I say it as quick access? For example, in the textbook I just want to know the concept of priority queues. So what I will do, I don't go and search each and every page. I just open the index page and then I will check what is the key that is related to the priority queues, and based upon the key, that means the page number, I retrieve it from the index and then I will directly go to the page, that page, right. So similarly, when you have large data that is present inside the databases, you can have the concept of indexing. For indexing you are going to use the B trees and the B plus trees, which is a part of trees, right. So this is related to DBMS and this is related to operating systems, let us say, and this is related to some data structures only. And coming to the other one, syntax trees. So you have a concept called as FLAT, finite language and automata theory, right. Or you have another subject called as CD or FLAT. So in CD or FLAT you will come across all these subjects. Compiler design, CD is nothing but the compiler design. So in compiler design and finite language and automata theory, you will come across or you will learn more about these compilers. And in the compilers, in the last unit or the fourth unit, you will come across this concept of syntax trees. Simple concept only, right. But you should know what these trees are, how we are going to represent the trees. A tree is nothing but a collection of nodes where one node is specially designated as the root node. That particular definition is very important. Other than this B plus tree will have a root node, B plus tree will have a root node, syntax tree will have a root node. All these things are common only, but how we are going to use or how we are going to represent it for different applications is where you will differ, right. So in the subjects compiler design and FLAT, you will come across these syntax trees. It is also very important core subject for the CSE students, right. Why this is very important means the OS is very important subject for the gate point of view. DBMS you will have it in gate, and CD and FLAT you will have it in gate. And remember that the importance of compiler design and FLAT is you come across lot of questions on this CD and flat in various competitive examinations. Very tough subject, very tough subject. Right, you have to implement lot of logic here. Right. So, and similarly we have this KD tree where we will be using this KD tree to partition the k dimensional space, right? We know 2D space x and y, we know 3D space x, y, z. Now we are going into n dimensional space, that is k dimensional space, and for that KD space partitioning we will be making use of this KD tree, right? Similarly tries, this is trilemma, this is not tree, it is not TREE, this is TRIE, right? So it is another kind of tree where you will use it to implement the dictionaries, right? You have the dictionaries concept in the data structures also. Similarly, you have suffix tree where it will be used to quickly recognize the pattern, right? What do you mean by pattern? So it is used in pattern searching. Pattern recognition is something related to the artificial intelligence, right? So what do you mean by a pattern? Any idea?
Sir, basically how it works is there a set of 100 or 200 samples are inputted into it, sir, and it learns and it observes the patterns, and when it is called training, sir, data training.
Yeah, I just want to identify, I'm asking you to tell what exactly is pattern.
Sir, anything we want is a pattern, sir. మనకి ఏది కావాలన్నా ప్యాటర్న్ అవుతుంది కదా సార్. ఒక డేటా ఉంది, అందులో ఏబీసీ ఎక్కడ ఉందో కావాలంటే ఏబీసీ ఒక ప్యాటర్న్ సార్.
Yeah, that is what is pattern, right? So a pattern is nothing but a sequence of letters or sequence of some objects that occur in a different ways, right? For example, that not occur in the different ways, that occur in different places in the text. For example, I have a text of one page, right? I have some text, 5 paras, that is written inside one page. I just want to identify the term tree. So this is called as the pattern search, right? This tree may be present inside this one full page of document anywhere, and I just give it to a pattern searching algorithm where it will search this tree inside this document, and it will just identify, or it will just highlight it, right? So this is called as the pattern, right? This is the T, that means the first letter should be in the uppercase T, and after that it should be followed with a lowercase r, followed by lowercase e, and followed by lowercase e. So this is how the pattern searching is one of the important thing in the artificial intelligence, right? So as somebody is saying that we are going to use this pattern searching in the artificial intelligence where we have different things like training and then identifying, all these things are there, right? And finally, one of the application of this trees is the spanning trees, right? Actually these spanning trees, we have the concept in the graphs. So once you are given a graph, there is a close relationship between this graph and trees, but since we don't have the concept of graphs, I am not going to discuss it. But when coming to the graphs concept, you have a concept called spanning trees. That means you will generate the spanning tree from the graph, and these spanning trees are used to find the shortest path. Very important. So these spanning trees are used to find the shortest path between different nodes. So why we require this shortest path means in order to identify the shortest path between two different vertices or two different nodes. So if you consider a computer network is nothing but a combination of different computers, right? As a simple example, I can say that, for example, I have Kakinada here and I have Rajahmundry, right? So I can go from Kakinada to Rajahmundry via Samarlakota and Rajanagaram, right? Similarly, I can go to Rajahmundry from Kakinada, like I will go to Ravulapalam and then I will go to Rajahmundry. Similarly, there is another path. I go to Kattipudi and I then go to Rajahmundry. So there exist number of paths from Kakinada to Rajahmundry. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
So if there exists multiple paths between the nodes, this we call it as a graph, but not a tree. As I told that there exists exactly one edge between each and every between a pair of nodes. That is called as a tree. But if you have more than one edge, we call it as a graph. So is it a graph or tree?
Graph, sir.
It is a graph,
Graphs.
right? So for this graph, you have to identify the spanning tree. We have different algorithms to identify the spanning trees like Kruskal's and Prims.
Sir, is that Primal algorithm, sir?
It's not Prim algorithm, it is Kruskal's and Prim. Prim, yes, Prim algorithm is there.
Dijkstra algorithm is
Dijkstra's shortest path is there, but before that you need to identify the spanning trees to by making use of this Kruskal's and Prims. Right. So there exist different things, right? For example, if I take this Dijkstra's algorithm, it is used to identify the shortest path from one node to multiple nodes. Like that, we have different categories, right? But forget about all these things. Spanning trees is a concept which is derived from the graphs, and that particular concept is used to find the shortest path. So I have three different paths from Kakinada to Rajahmundry, like Raulapalam, this is Kattipudi. So out of these three nodes, out of these three paths, I should identify the shortest path. Right. So for example, this path is assume that from Kakinada to Rajahmundry via Raulapalam, it takes around 150 kilometers. And from Kakinada to Rajahmundry via Samarlakota and Rajanagaram, assume that it is around 70. And from Kakinada to Kattipudi and Rajahmundry, assume that it is 120 kilometers. Right. So what is the shortest path to reach Rajahmundry from Kakinada? Obviously it is via Samarlakota and Rajahmundry, right? So we have different algorithms. So this type of spanning trees evaluation or spanning trees generation from a given graph is possible, and these spanning trees are again a part of these trees, right? So you can observe here the importance of trees. It is used in data structures, it is used in operating systems, it is used in database management systems, it is used in compiler design and flat, it is used in artificial intelligence. So all these subjects, all these different subjects are very, very, very important for a computer science student, right? And all these subjects are making use of this trees concept. So if you keep on studying this trees concept, even graphs concept is also very, very tough subject, and it is a version. It is a version, right? I don't know why they have removed. Initially we used to have a simple concepts related to the graphs, right? But when you want to go in depth discussion about these graphs, there is a subject called as graph theory. It is somewhat related to mathematics and computer science. We are not going deep into it, right? Whatever syllabus we have on these graphs is also in that very creamy part will be there, right? Very few inputs we will get from the syllabus, right? But that also have been removed from our syllabus, but it's not a big issue, right? Whatever is there in our syllabus we'll go through it, right? So the point which I want to stress here is you see the importance of the trees, where we are going to apply these trees in various core subjects of the computer science, right? So please concentrate on this trees. Very simple topic only, right? Very simple topic, but you have to practice. That is what I am requesting you, right? So in this particular session we have seen what a tree is and what are the applications of trees we have, and we have already discussed what are the various terminology we have with the trees and what are the various characteristics of trees. All these things we have discussed, right? So let me stop here, and this is end of today's session. Thank you one and all.